Diesel Exhaust Emissions Systems Part 3 Sensors and Actuators. There are 3, and in some cases 4, exhaust gas temperature or EGT sensors. The signals are used for several functions: DPF soot load calculation, DPF regeneration, NO adsorptive catalyst regeneration, catalyst onboard diagnostics, and exhaust system temperature modeling. This is the rearmost sensor. Two heated oxygen sensors are used. The signals are used for several functions: DPF soot load calculation, DPF regeneration, NO adsorptive catalyst regeneration, catalyst onboard diagnostics, and air modeling to determine NOx and soot emissions. The upstream sensor is used to regulate air-reduced operating modes or rich operation. The downstream sensor signals successful regeneration. This is the front or upstream sensor. This is the rear or downstream sensor. The exhaust pressure sensor, or exhaust differential pressure sensor on some applications, measures pressure drop across the DPF. It's used in DPF soot load calculation. It's a 3-wire sensor with a 5-volt ref, a ground, and an analog signal. Service information specifies idle signal voltage of 1.07 to 1.16 volts, while high idle signal voltage is 1.35 to 1.91 volts. Downstream tubing for the sensor can be seen here. While the mass airflow sensor isn't part of the exhaust system, its signal is used in the DPF soot load calculation. Service information specifies an idle signal voltage of 1.82 volts. Signal voltage 2.35 volts at 2000 RPM. Signal voltage 2.98 volts at 3000 RPM. This is the mass airflow sensor. The throttle valve, or throttle valve control module and throttle position sensor assembly, has a number of functions. It reduces airflow for DPF regeneration, NO adsorptive regeneration. It enhances high-pressure EGR flow and closes at shutdown to smooth operation. Failure of the throttle valve may cause inhibit of EGR and inhibit of active DPF regeneration. The exhaust throttle valve is used to regulate exhaust back pressure. It assists in NO adsorptive catalyst regeneration and enhances low-pressure EGR system flow. Failure of the exhaust throttle valve may cause an EGR regulation fault code and inhibit NO absorptive catalyst regeneration. Both intake and exhaust throttle valves use an internal motor to drive the valve and a potentiometer to provide a position feedback signal. The valves are frequently open during testing, and a signal voltage of approximately 4.35 volts is common. This is the throttle valve, and this is the exhaust throttle valve. The high pressure and the low pressure EGR valves are controlled by the engine control module. Each incorporates an electric motor and a potentiometer that provides a position feedback signal to the engine control module. The powertrain control module drives the integral motor. An integral potentiometer provides a feedback signal. DTC coverage is available for the EGR valves and sensors. Also, plugging of the system could cause insufficient flow DTCs. Failure of a valve or sensor will cause EGR to be inhibited. This is the high-pressure EGR valve at the front of the engine. This is the low-pressure EGR valve at the rear of the engine.